Cabar zaman cara sound jadi.
Sebab kita orang ni suka invade orang, macam orang memang gaduh tak berhenti.
Ni ya uang cara deh. Aja mau jangan agresif soal tu baca.
Agresif, kenapanya? Karena suka perang. Karena kalau misalkan bermain agresif, musuh bakal kena pressure duluan.
មូលហេតុដែលពួកខ្ញុំចូលចិត្តលេង aggressive ដោយសារពួកខ្ញុំកាលមុនគឺមើលថាមើល player ខ្លួនឯងនីមួយៗហើយគិតទៅថាអ្នកគឺដៃខ្លាំងមែនតើអញ្ចឹងលេង aggressive គឺត្រូវ
我们战术打法无规则打法，有对手可能研究不透我们吧。
We are not that serious. We're just playing for fun because it helps us not get pressure. If you play for real, we get a high pressure international.
可以打进世界赛的关键之一是早睡早起，保持好身体。
Siguro determination lang din talaga and focus sa sarili kasi doon nalalabas siguro yung pagiging consistent sa paglalaro.
Our secret in our veterans in our team. Enemies need to respect us. Strong mentality and discipline because it's all about out of the game. King teams for me are gaming us.
Siguro para masabi kong king yung team or legends, siguro meron muna silang MSC title and M-World title.
Kalau dibilang tim raja, enggak lah.
The Sky Kings have been taken down.
Kita belum layak lah dipanggil raja. Ya, back to back dulu lah semuanya, baru bisa dianggap tim raja.
Tingin ko isa kami sa mga king teams kasi sobrang dami na namin pinanalo na tournaments and sobrang dami na namin na-achieve ng magkakasama. Sa tingin ko kapag na-achieve na namin yung Golden Road, hindi na siguro king team yung tawag sa amin, siguro mas angat pa doon.
I think we are because based on the recent tournament in MSC, we are the top 2. If we win, we already show everyone that we have the potential to become more than a king. Let's do it for Malaysia.
I will redeem Indonesia.
I will complete the Golden Road.
Live from Jakarta, Indonesia, the battle will start here in M7 World Championship. Let the world see us.
Can't wait to go to Bali after all this, man. Do they have any Japanese onsen since Bali?
Oh, they might actually. I know it's going to be really comfortable in Bali overall. It's going to be a good time, especially since M7 has been this exciting. It's like so. Yo, OG, bro, come on.
Yeah, join us.
Come.
Yeah.
Dude, that's the guy. He's got the voice line in the game.
Benchana, that's him.
That's the guy.
What?
So, yo, man.
I'm sleeping now. What?
Yeah, sorry to disturb you, but like, how do you feel about like Alter Ego finally gonna be the first team to make it to the knockouts?
But it's not enough for me because I need only go to knockout, please. Two teams, Indonesia and knockout. So we can beat you guys. What do you think about Indonesia can beat Philippines now?
I think. Hey, whoa! I think they've got a chance. They've got a chance. What about you?
Yes.
See. Bro, respect to the opponents.
We can go to up, bro.
Yeah, just keep going up. But hey, Alter Ego, they're very good. And I'm not losing hope for Onyx.
Hey, man, since you brought it going up, check this out. What's up there?
Huh?
What's up there, our legends? And down here is Rose, your host for today. And with that, I welcome you to the M7 World Championship. Yesterday, we witnessed Alter Ego as the first team to qualify for the knockout stages. And unfortunately, we had to say our goodbyes to Dianfeng Yao Kuai. And of course, today, as we all await another qualification match in the evening between Selangor Red Giants and Team Liquid, let us first witness the match between Boost Gates Esports and CFU Gaming. This match will be a do or die. This is the second half of the Swiss stage round 3. And without further ado, let the world see us.
Everyone is usually asking for a little bit more color with their technology, so we're going to give you a little bit of RGB. It's Renmar, Gideon, and Brigida to cover for this day of the Swiss stages. Welcome back. How are you guys feeling? I'm still losing my voice. How are you guys feeling after everything we've witnessed?
Honestly, I'm feeling really, really good. After seeing what happened yesterday, it feels like teams are kind of finding their momentum back again, that state of flow. The teams are being expressive, but I don't think that the meta has been figured out just yet.
Yep, I was actually thinking of where the RGB was coming from because I'm wearing black and he's wearing gray and maybe the red is you. But yeah, for me,
our names.
I am feeling so tense about my first cast today because we are immediately jumping into an elimination match. So it's very sad that we get to see one team say goodbye again, but that's just how it is. And I just hope that they get to unleash their full potential in this series.
Yeah, again, just in case you missed it yesterday, we bid goodbye to DFYG and celebrate Alter Ego as the first team to advance to the knockout stage. Today, we're about to witness another elimination and qualification match. That's going to be at the top of the day with our first match, and then later on with our final match in that Selangor Red Giants versus Team Liquid meetup. So make sure that you're updated because there's going to be a lot of action. We know it's a weekday. We know you're probably busy. So from time to time, check it out. But in just a bit, we're going to be showing you the brackets of the Swiss stage so far so that we could just follow you up with what you have potentially missed. Remember, 5 rounds of Swiss. We're on the 3rd round now, and 8 teams will qualify for knockouts, while 8 teams get eliminated. Only teams with the same standing can battle each other. 3 wins you qualify, 3 losses, and you're out.
It's time for the conclusion of this very 3rd round. We need to conclude all the matchups still left. We have one potential elimination and 1 potential qualification for anyone in the uppers and as well as the lowers. The middle of the pack have almost been finished off, but there's still some questions that need to be asked. Question is, who else is going to be joining potentially the FYG or have to face a qualification match just to stay alive?
Yep, and I think one of those biggest questions too is what the matchups are going to be. So eventually later on, we will be having another draw to determine what these matchups are for the 2-1 and the 1-2 pool, which is kind of like the second to the last round of
Yeah.
the entire Swiss stage that we have.
Yeah, exactly. So as we mentioned, we have the two BO3s to open up our day and close it out. While in the little BO3 sandwich, it's Evil versus Aurora Turkey for the second match. And the third match is Team Spirit versus Onyx. And after Team Spirit versus Onyx, there's going to be no more BO1s. Because at that point, most teams are going to be either a 2-1 or 1-2, meaning that we're just going to be looking at all best of threes for the remainders of Swiss.
Yeah, just look at the last two matches that we'll have for today.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure everyone has their eyes set on these two series, and that's why we're saving them for last.
I think I think there's a conspiracy personally.
What's
They
that?
always notice that every single team at Liquid game, and especially when it's going to be a big important one with maybe some cultural ties to maybe some of the nationalities that we have here on podcast. Why are we always the ones, Brigitte, who have to go cast these big games against two teams that we both like a lot?
That's true. But you're in between two Filipinos right now. So
Not surprised. I've been doing it since M1, so it's nothing's changed.
So we have to look at this one first, though, as Boostgate and CFU fight for their lives. CFU, they continue to search for the fire that once fueled their MPL Cambodia Season 9 reverse sweep, while Boostgate, of course, who came from Wildcard, continue adjusting to the BO1 format. Now, there's something about CFU. They're different. Of course, they didn't have the easiest run in M6, but of course, we all remember them from as the team that almost eliminated SRG up until Innocent decided, nope, this isn't going to happen. But it's really different. The CFU from last year to the CFU now is just two very different teams.
I actually have a bit of a different opinion. I think that the CFU, unironically, is kind of exactly the same, which is the innate problem with this team. Because so far, based on what we saw from last year, right, what gave them their strength is a great understanding of the template or format of how many teams are going to play. This time around, I think it's kind of up in the air because the meta rewards people so much for making huge plays and getting creative with your angles.
or maybe it's a slight miscalculation on their part too, because I feel like they're trying to stick with that exact idea as you've mentioned, but it's just that it's not working entirely in their favor compared to how we saw them last M6, where I think they finished 5th or 6th and they've been performing really well. There have been a lot of times wherein they tend to overextend, or if not all of them, a single player, maybe Boxy, when he tries to go for the setups, just really tends to overextend, and the other teammates don't seem to be on the same page.
Yeah. Now we have to look at Boostgate Esports, of course, highlights from their wildcard advancement with one of the most surprising results of the tournament so far, them defeating Virtus Pro in 5 games, winning this 3-2. Now, this series was just a back and forth. Stomp win, stomp loss, stomp win, stomp loss, up until a very competitive game number 5, which I feel like maybe for Boostgate, I think this format works better for them. The longer the series goes, the better, more information they have to work with, the more they understand the tendencies of their opponents in terms of where they want to position and how the tempo of their play is, that by the time, let's just say, considering that Brigida is here, that it goes to game number 3, I think Boostgate would have already fully downloaded CFU.
I think that's a big problem, right? For me, naturally, only because I have a very differing opinion. When I look at Boostgate, their best of ones probably should have been their penultimate way of kind of beating these teams with their sort of playstyle. Like, they have such a fluid motion, even against facing off against Onyx ID. They nearly won. They brought it all the way to the later stages of the game, and I think that's the big issue, right, for a lot of these teams. Coming into this best of 3, if you're just trying to figure your opponent out in the first 2 matches, and even if the second match happens to be lucky in your favor, I still think that Boostgate might not be able to get through that last hurdle.
I guess I'm a bit hopeful in terms of Boostgate in best of 3s when it comes to their draft. I think there is indeed something that still has to be addressed when it comes to how they carry out or even finish off the game, even though they started really, really well. But Coach Tezet, I think even in best of 1s, has shown us really commendable priorities when it comes to draft. And if we're talking about how they're able to adjust and download their opponents in not even best of threes just yet. So I'm interested to see how they're going to do that now that they're in this match.
Yeah, there's a little bit more to talk about Boostgate Esports compared to CFU, considering we've seen their climb since the wildcard stages. Well, for CFU, it was one game that delivered a very surprising result where they lost to Black Sentence, a second game where it was, man, what's happening to CFU? Again, comparing the two stats, of course, it's going to skew heavily towards the M7 wildcard because so far it's only been the BO1s. Things should level out if ever Boostgate continue and maybe if ever they make it to the 2-2 bracket.
When we compare these stats, right, obviously the wildcard is going to be our baseline, but then when we're looking at the M7 Swiss stage, notice that both Team GPN and DPM take a dip, but not enough. Like, you would imagine that the DPM would be closer to like 1.9k, right? But it's only down by 300 compared to the 100, well, even less than that, 60 technically from Team GPM, which just goes to show, despite having a 0% win rate, they are still playing their game. They are still getting to that late game. The problem is that closing it out has just not been working for them. Look at their team KDA, 4 points from 6-2.
Yeah, teams in the main stage seem to have dealt with this play style that Boostgate Esports has introduced, or maybe that's the thing too. They've seen enough of Boostgate Esports in the wildcard and how they potentially play, so they have probably a decent idea of how to play against this team. Although I've been hearing that even before we entered the main stage, that Boostgate Esports, and even in their scripts, that they've been performing or they've been improving really, really well. So that's why I feel like there's more to Boostgate, you know? Like, we're not seeing enough of them just yet.
Yeah, and that's cool because considering the fact that for the longest time it was Rosa and the gang that's been really setting up or having the standard of what it means to play top Turkish MLBB and how you translate that to global MLBB. And Boostgate has just been following that. While for CFU, yes, in Cambodia, very passionate and also, yes, very difficult region to excel in with how competitive the top teams are. Although CFU is one of those names that constantly get thrown in the hat as one of the top teams in Cambodia, we just have yet to see that form this M7. Question is it similar to Boostgate? Is it really just the BO1s? But then if you look back, this game, especially against Black Sentence, unanimous, they should have won that. They just messed up at the 9th minute and it dipped from there.
That's the thing. It feels like mistakes in the game so far can be heavily punished by a lot of these international teams, right? Which is a big difference that we are seeing from last year compared to this year, where the swing of gold is more common now than it was last time. And now there's the real question, right, of the playstyles, the dedicated playstyle we've known for the past 6 to 8 years, the Filipino playstyle of, hey, small incremental leads will eventually get us somewhere. But then you see teams like CFU who are like, we're doing that, but then one mistake knocks the whole building down. While at the same time, when you're looking at how explosive people like Kazue is going to be, for all intents and purposes, we could have a 30-minute game and one play could make the difference.
Yeah, that's why I think it's so important that CFU really remain mindful all throughout. Because personally, I think that there needs to be a bit more work in terms of Sing and the positionings that we see from him.
Yeah.
The fundamentals, definitely there. We saw it even, especially in that game with the Claude, especially if they have the Claude, because the Claude is really such a hot pick right now. But when it comes to the latter portions of the game, against explosive players, as you mentioned, like Kazue, or even just Boostgate Esports, who you might just or get surprised at the timings that they try to go for in the latter portions of the game, then Sing will be such a key player, especially when he sticks with those marksman picks that he's always picked up in the previous games.
Yeah, when we saw them go up against Aurora Gaming PH, community sentiments were they could have won that if they were just a bit cleaner with their execution. Us Filipinos were sweating watching that game, and it's not just the Southeast Asian heat. It's because that game was so back and forth and it could have gone anywhere. It could have gone to CFU's way. So let's remind the world of what happened back in M6. They beat NIP Flash, they dropped to Fnatic Onyx PH, then they would take down Vamos, eventually even taking Team Spirit back in M6 to 3 games, taking SRG to the limit in 3 games. The dip in the quality compared to M6 CFU to M7 CFU we have to address it.
Yeah, it's really significant, right? We were hoping that CFU would at least stand out from amongst the middle of the pack. We obviously have our favorites in terms of our top 3 teams, and I think it goes to show that the rest of the world also probably has a pretty solid idea of who those 3 are going to be. And I thought that CFU might get close, maybe a fourth or fifth in that tier list, maybe arguably even in the 6th, because some overlap each other.
Yeah, and the difficult thing is still so many questions. Is it the meta? Are there internal issues? Are the comms not proper? But this is just one of the top, or the things that are unavoidable about the major international tournaments of MLBB. There's always that thing.
Yeah, and maybe something inevitable for a team who sticks together for so long. Because again, CFU, their key players, their core players, they've been the same ever since who knows when. And that's something they've always believed in. They wanted their lineup to all be Cambodia players, and they didn't want to change much from their lineups. Their core, or their coach even, ever since has stayed the same. And definitely there will be some ups and downs, but it's very crucial that they find a way around it now, because this is, as mentioned by Rose in the intro, the do or die match for CFU.
So, is it just a lack of evolution? Are they still stuck in the prehistoric period when they should go to the Palean? I'm not good, like biology time.
Don't worry. I think that I don't want to say it for sure, because it makes me very nervous to say that this team is stagnant. That could hurt them.
Well, it's time to welcome them in. It's CFU versus Boostgate Esports. The aggressive Sharks that the world stage once knew have been dormant for a while. Can they regain the killer instinct now that they're smelling the blood they're spilling? In the EXP, it's Wadu, Jungle, Detective, OP and Mid, Boxy and Roman, Sing and Gold. Cambodia, give your energy for CFU Gaming!
They came out of the wild cards in flying colors, but the Swiss stage so far is proving too tough. Is there enough gas for them to reach tomorrow? With XPXE, with Jungle Kazue, Mid Identity, Rome Watker, and Gold RX, lock in Boostgate Esports!
I have a good feeling about this one. I hope it goes to 3, and I hope we see the best of these two, because one of them has to go home. It's time for us to also welcome in the coaches. For Boostgate, it's Coach Tezet and Coach Nova. While for CFU Gaming, Coach Timego and Coach Bob. I feel jitters from them. I feel the tension on the stage. Is it just me, or do you feel the same, Brigida?
If I were in their position, I couldn't help but feel the same. Knowing the expectations that people have for CFU after their previous runs in international tournaments, and even more so for Boostgate, who have been on such great momentum after exiting the wild cards. Now they're faced with a problem, and this is something that they have to overcome right now.
Minimal eye contact throughout those fist bumps. You can tell how nerve-wracking it is for each one of these sides representing their own individual regions. With Boostgate Esports, obviously I'm going to get excited about Kazue and XE, but there's also Identity Whacker and RX, specifically Identity. When he goes down, the rest of the team's foundation starts to fall apart.
Yeah, it seems like they really are one of those teams that the mid laner is really the anchor, not just in terms of the shot calling, positioning, but in terms of the overall execution. But hey, Brigida, you were talking about Sing earlier. Are there other players of CFU we have to watch out for?
I would probably have my eyes on Boxy and OP and the connection that they are going to have, because I feel like if it's just about the two and their chemistry, it's definitely there, but it's also them having to make sure that the plays that they commit are somewhat a bit more calculated, because I feel like OP, if it's just about the follow-ups, you could rest assured that he is going to provide that to Boxy. But the problem is gonna lie in whether or not they're gonna be successful enough in those, let's say, pick-off attempts, or if it's something that's gonna be punishable for the opponents, as we've seen previously when they were up against the Grok.
Okay. As we head into the battle between the Sharks and the gates. Yeah, let's go with the gates. So vote. Are you a gate or are you a shark? Type it out in whatever chat you're watching from. CFU Gaming or Boostgate. Who's going to be winning this one? Now, as we wait for the votes to come out, actually, no, we should talk about a prediction. Yeah,
That's the thing, because I know what I predicted. We all threw it out in the group chat, so we kind of know where each other are feeling. But guys, this is live, by the way. You can actually affect these standings right now if you get involved in the chat. But personally, for me, I think that today, CFU might figure out, hey, we just need to fight the way we do. We don't need to play as standard as everybody else. Let's break out of the mold a little bit.
CFU guy today. What about you, Liquid Girly?
Oh, well, that was for last match, but the stats we're seeing right now are actually similar to what I think is going to happen.
What a sudden swing.
It's a sudden jump, yeah.
Yo, Latam just woke up. They're like, no, we ain't losing to a voting battle of all things.
I was supposed to say...
Me Turkey.
The fan...
Okay, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, Turkey, not Latam.
No, yeah, I was supposed to say the...
Yeah, who knows? Maybe there are Latin Americans who just love Boostgate for some reason. They're like, we love Turkish coffee and we love Boostgate esports.
No, it's something you could easily confuse, but this is surprising. So I think Boostgate gained a lot of fans throughout their run here in M7. It's because prior M7, I think CFU definitely had a lot more.
Yeah. So you are a boosty girly now.
Yes, I'm a boosty girl.
I'm a boosty boy. And Gideon is a CFU man.
He's a gate?
I'm
Oh no, he's not. We are the gates.
It's fine. It's fine. I'll talk to them. I'll talk to them and see what they call their fan base before I make some assumptions that are not good for broadcasting. CFU on blue, BGT on red side.
Oh, Sora getting taken away right away by Coach Time Ego. While I like this, when you're going up against a team like CFU, the Cambodian play style, it's best if you're on the red side to take away the Grok and the Juicin. Although you could be setting up for surprising Yuzin for Yuzhong, excuse me, first pick.
Yeah.
I almost just call Yuzhong Eugene.
No, because maybe you saw the Juicin.
Oh yes,
right.
Yeah, let's go with that.
Yuzin.
Thanks for saving me.
You mix it together or something like that.
Don't worry, it's banned out. I mean, Yuzhong is completely out of the question. You don't have nothing to worry about it now.
What's your command?
Fanny as well. Now, I don't know. I don't know about you, Brigitte, but I am interested in what your thoughts about the openers for these drafts usually is, because we've seen a couple of iterations. So far, I don't think anybody's really broken the mold.
Yeah, maybe it's the Claude for Sing. I'm hoping it's the Claude for Sing, since you'd want to put him in a comfortable pick, a power pick that will not require so much attention in the laning. So hopefully it's that, because the Lancelot got banned too.
Kalea's still open, by the way.
But that too is still open.
I think right now, at least now that Sora's kind of out of the question, Valentina isn't such a big deal until we see some mega ultimates start to come out. But also, since Yves is coming through, I agree with Brigitte that right now that Claude is such a phenomenal pick. It makes a lot of sense. What other marksmen do just as good? At the end of the day, Kalea locked in, Purifies locked in as well.
Yeah, for sure. So and I'll just pick it up. I would not mind. And then just get another power pick with it. Maybe not your jungler, that would be way too greedy. A YSS Cloud together will show a little bit too much. But if you can get one of your EXP laners or mid laners.
Yeah. What about the Eve? Maybe?
Banned out.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, first ban.
That's true. So you didn't have to think about it anymore. Instead, Kazue.
Yeah, it's Kazue's Haya, of course. So I think for
alongside with Carry.
Yeah. Add to that the change to DHS.
Oh, that too.
Yeah. I'm wondering if Boxy wants to get the Cho again this time, because in a way it could potentially answer some of the problems with the Hayabusa. And oh, never mind. There's the Kalea already.
Yeah.
But what if Wadu decides to be like, let me show you some Cho damage. Let me show you what the Indonesian solo queue has taught me.
Then that would
Damn
be...
Joe.
Instead they get the Fredrin. At least they have ways to answer back against the potential dives that'll come in. Because I think Boostgate so far is really going for a dive comp. So you'd want to be very cautious of the picks from CFU.
Are we in like March of 2025? This is one of those openings I'm pretty sure all of us during our regular season, that was the go-to.
Yeah. You know, if Boostgate wants a crazy, unique pick here, I wouldn't mind if they open it up for Lilia later on. They're up against Fredrin in terms of the mid lane, because I don't think Burst is going to do them any good. I want like constant, sustained damage and then you just continuously pop off. But who the heck am I, right? Don't listen to me.
I think it was arguments for both Farsa as well as Lilia. I think the Farsa is more of a comfort pick coming in from Identity. We've seen him perform decently well when he has access to Feathered Airstrike, but more importantly so, when I look at BGT's composition, it's very like, I come in, I use my abilities. If nobody dies on your side, you can do whatever you want. You can park your car in my garage.
Yeah, so maybe they have to be considering those picks that could disrupt whatever they want to do, and that could stop the momentum coming in for the fight. So the Yuzhong is still open for Wadu. So is the Lapu Lapu that you might want to consider that now that you have the Farsa in your lineup. But they take out heroes for Sing instead.
I like it. At least for Tizet, he's one of the few coaches who are like, I've seen this meta before. Wait a second. So they get rid of the Granger, right? Which is usually a natural comparison when you have Fredrins on your side, because you want to kind of snowball out of control with slow incremental leads that you get from lane, and then coming into the mid game, that's when you can start to pop off. With the Gatot ban from the side of CFU, which is honestly kind of interesting, but at the same time, they already showed their roam. This way, they know for a fact that BGT must take control. The question is, how do you set it without the Fredrin?
My mission is to
They seem to know who to target. It's really Sing.
And as expected, they take away the high loss as the last ban for CFU. So the best roamers in terms that you can pack Revitalize with are gone. Grok's gone as well.
What?
They end up picking the Phobius.
Why? They could have just gone to like Uranus.
Yeah, what are they preempting? They already took away the carry.
They're denying Arlet for
Arlet,
EXP. The Yuzhong, honestly, Yuzhong does pretty okay in this matchup as long as you don't mess up level 2.
Or what are the other marksmen that are still available? Or is Sing gonna be forced to use a fighter? Because like, if it's fighter gold laners we're talking about, that's gonna lack damage for.
Yeah,
maybe.
At least with a very strong spell vamp. That kind of kit for the two side lanes, both EXP and gold, so that you funnel everything into the Kimi as your main and only carry. But up against a Hayabusa and Farsa, that's going to be way too risky. You're going to need another carry to go along with this. The Moskov makes the most sense to me.
There you go.
As you mentioned, and the Lapu Lapu called it as well.
I don't know. I think they really kind of locked themselves in when they've already showed their mid trio. Not a lot of wiggle room to kind of adjust on the fly at this point. But at the very least, they didn't say, you know what? We want our EXP laner to be shafted. We want to play towards the goal. No. They said, with Lapu, we could contest. We could maybe disrupt that Feathered Airstrike, and this could create space for Sing to actually get to that Trinity fast.
Okay, so we're waiting for Wactor. Wactor's hero. So not in a lot of revitalized heroes, as you've previously mentioned. If they're looking for pick-off heroes...
I know one. Minotaur. There's still a healer. But you were saying about pick-off.
Yeah, the Cho is still there. They want to match. They have decent burst. The Khalid! I was thinking of this earlier, but then I wasn't sure if it was doing too well in the recent matches.
Well, I think at least for BGT's side, looking at their lineup, I think their biggest problem is like, if we don't move out of the lane first, we're going to have a little bit of a problem as much as we want a roamer who can actually pick off and set. So at least with Khalid, we have some form of counter engage just in case things go bad to set up for Farsa.
Yeah, and there's not a lot of burst damage to expect just yet. So the early game might not pose that much of a threat, and he could just keep on checking the bushes for his team. So I think map control is going to be very crucial, considering that there are a lot of heroes from CFU who could just dive or jump in and look for the setups as well.
Early to late game potential, leaning heavily towards Boostgate. The other departments in terms of survivability, controllability, that's where it evens out. But interesting take for these two. In this elimination match, remember, you need to survive this series if you want to keep tournament hopes alive.
Let's see where this momentum is going to lean into. Who's going to tip the metronome first? CFU on the blue side facing up against Boostgate Esports on the red. In terms of jungle starts, it's going to be Detective on his purple buff, but we're looking at Exy. Where is Haya on his purple as well as Wactor already getting chunked down pretty low, and that's the power of Kimi in the earlier stages.
Yeah, just when I said there won't be as much burst damage, he just stood there in the mid lane, probably tanking a lot of the basic attacks from OP. So that's quite unfortunate if we were to look at Boostgate Esports. But this is looking like a Lethal Wanderer immediately going to CFU's side. And they're just going to maintain this disciplined start as we're used to seeing so far.
Moxie? I mean, the knockup is good. Wacker, he doesn't have his flicker, but he should be able to out-sustain it for now. His identity, having to use his Purify and Wings by Wings. All defensive spells have been taken out of the hands of CFU.
Very expensive Sing.
He's okay. Luckily that Quad Shadow didn't connect. It was like a pixel off.
Honestly, because of that early game CFU had, I don't think there's any reason for them to hold back as much anymore. Right. So they could just play it out as aggressively as they want, but still with a bit more caution because Boostgate can turn things around.
Yeah, lots of thrills for both sides. You know how important the aggression is, while there are Master Assassins for both gold laners. And of course, as expected, it's going to be the Fighter Emblem set for the Claude.
Yeah, no, it just goes to show how mana-hungry Sing needs to be on this Moskov to actually get good trades against the Claude. But now, going for the first contestant here on a very small objective. It looks like CFU have got the information that they need as they start moving down to hopefully unlock one. They get Exy, they punched him. Oh! Boxy underneath the Tarn, tanking too many shots. Force the flicker out as Detective slows the back line of Wacker and Kazue.
Yeah, the enhanced basic attack latched onto the Phoveus. That's why he got dragged under tower.
Okay, OP's already level 4 now, so they might want to go for this.
They've caught Identity, forcing him to flicker away. His Purify's not back up as Wadu flickers forward and Detective secures the first turtle of this game. Exy, don't go back in. They're just gonna walk. They just need to walk away. Oh, he dodges back in, hoping that Wacker is gonna get back into the fight. He gets on top of OP, but doesn't hit anything. Even with the Spear of Destruction, this could be an opportunity as he gets back in. Zing! Getting a free assist. First blood going over to CFU.
Yep, there probably was a call right there. Oh, but they're still going for it. Does Exy survive this though? He's all alone.
He shouldn't survive it, but he's gonna try anyway. Detective locks him down just in time. 2-0. First 2 minutes and 50 seconds into the game.
I think that's a little bit over-eager by Boostgate to take fights like that, but well, in the end, their Claude got some gold up top, but I don't think that's worth it.
Yeah, there was probably some communication between them that Identity was
build, right? He's not looking to eventually build into that War Axe. He needs to just peel for his team. And that's great for Detective specifically, because as soon as he got that Dreadnought armor, he was taking no damage.
Thinking that maybe that also could have been the bait. Could that have been part of the plan? Identity?
Oh.
He's gone.
Yikes.
Can't do anything. No Purify, but Retribution was used by Detective, though.
Yeah, but that's not gonna stop them from just constant invading. RX there. Okay, they might not go for this yet, but they're already looking to set up. And it's something that you would expect from CFU, considering this lead that they already have.
I mean, we talked about it. This is the playstyle of CFU Gaming. They like to go fast. They like priority in the mid, set things up for Detective. And, of course, even back then in M6, it was Detective's Fredrin. Wait!
Purify luckily keeping him alive. RX having to use the Blazing Duet. At least Wacker is nearby just in case. And thankfully, this allows Kazue to get a buff for himself as now the turtle gets contested. They're posturing. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wacker, he's looking for an opportunity to try and steal this away, but it looks like Exy having to use his ult to get in the middle of the fight. Tsunami Slam as well into the Feather Airstrike, landing on to 3. They've lost 2, and now the Spear of Destruction. No assist just yet as Boxy forced into an awkward position. The Oki Shadow kill is good, and Wadu manages to survive. A 2-for-1 trade in favor of CFU Gaming.
Fortunately, Boostgate still got something out of that because CFU Gaming and the plays that they go for, prior objectives, have been working so well. The fact that they took out the Purify from RX before they started that fight, and that Wadu was readily there with his bravest fighter just to ensure that the zone or the zoning or the space was created, seemed or almost felt like Boostgate Esports would have had a hard time trying to contest. But fortunately, Kazue also found an opening, so it's not like they didn't entirely get nothing out of it. But this is still a gold lead that's continuously increasing in the hands of CFU.
I'm also starting to see here the potential of Boostgate Esports finding a big turnaround around minute 8, minute 9.
Oh, okay. The Raging Sandstorm was committed. Now the Tsunami Slams, the Feather Airstrike does get cancelled out. They can fully turn their attentions here. The taunt onto RX, but XT able to peel just in time. The Blazing Duet was good, and Boxy ends up dying as the Oki Shadow kills next to fall. Sing alongside with Detective must peel. Abraser's Wrath doesn't connect in time. OP finds XT as RX takes out Detective. It is an even trade, 6-3, but CFU still hold on to that lead.
Renmar was just talking about it.
Yeah.
That turnaround play came a bit too early for Boostgate Esports here. Hold on, Sing.
Oh, whoa!
Oh.
No!
He knew he messed up.
Yeah.
He knew he messed up, and that Spirit of Destruction, really, all of it, just for hopefully connecting and making an outplay.
I have to say though, props to RX. He went in at the perfect timing. He knew that there was no knock up to come from Boxy just yet because he just used it. And he took that opportunity and everyone else from Boostgate Esports followed.
Now, we sit on this turtle once again. Xe has been great, but Wadu jumping early with Bravest Fighter, allowing Xe to get into the middle of the fight. Now with the Numenor Blood already out of the way, and the Feather Airstrike Detective takes the turtle. Purify already coming through. Boxy forced to run, flickers off. All ults being utilized. And you can see that Detective wasn't able to get in close for the Appraiser's Wrath.
Yeah, this might be a problem if you're now forced to use your skills as a Kalea to just cancel the entries of Boostgate rather than you looking for the setups yourselves.
Yeah, and I appreciate how both gold leaders have been very active in the map. Of course, with RX rushing the DHS. It's very quick for Detective Wadu and Boxy to feel the pain that the Claude can dish out on them. Now Boostgate is eyeing the tower up top.
Boxy, he needs to cancel this. Oh, he doesn't have enough time. It's too late. Identity takes him out with a Feather Airstrike, as we already see the Pulse pulling him back. Is he gonna take it? Is he gonna take it? We're thinking about it. He does! And now XC in the middle of the fight getting reset after reset, as Identity is thinking he wants to get these contacts, but it's too late. It's already one down, and Identity soon to fall after. Can RX get his BMI back up? No! Flicker into the Land Shatterer. Nicely played by Wadu.
Wadu coming in just in time.
Yeah, they held, Wadu and Detective held the BMI too well. There was no way RX could have walked back to or could have went back to that BMI. So he had no other choice but to walk. But Wadu, with the flicker still available, was able to catch him. And luckily, Identity didn't go down too. Oh wait.
They're gonna try for another dive, and it's gonna be very successful, knowing that Wacker has nothing left. And they break open a tier 1. How far? Make a prediction here, Renmar. How much of a lead are they gonna get off of this?
Oh, I think they could eventually swing this into a 4-5, closer to 5 later on, if they can keep expanding the presence that they have in the map, considering the mid tower as well. Just actually, no, they're quite even. Looking back at it, it's still very close in terms of the mid towers. I think they're gonna have to eye out getting a little bit more river control. But I like how Wadu, hopefully CFE Gaming are talking about the Lapu Lapu as, hey, we're gonna blow everything early, but can you save your bravest fighter for last? Because that's gonna be the finisher to cap off fights.
Because they have a different approach to team fights. Luckily, they have a lot of range. They have OP with the traction pulse. They have Boxy to potentially scout things out first, if ever it's not entirely gonna work for them. But now that you've mentioned it, Wadu is something Boostgate, or is someone Boostgate Esports has to pay attention to. I know XC is doing at least or somewhat the same job, but the thing is, he's going in first, and that CFU Gaming constantly has been able to find ways around to punish.
Yeah, I mean, look at the way that they're playing, right? CFU, in every single one of these neutral fights, they take the fight first and then the neutral after. They want to turn this into a no contest. Right now, they're not positioned to do so. They've already cracked a top tier 1, and Detective is going to start off the taunt onto XC's side, and now they instantly cancel out the Feather Airstrike as they jump back into the fight, moving away to try and make sure that the mud in the water is cleared up. Raging Sandstorm on to 3, followed by the Blazing Duet on to 2. Boxy is dead, and now Detective must hold. Oppie and Sing move back. A no contest, turning a 3 into 1.
The Sharks get whacked by Wachter.
And what did Wachter do? Wait a minute, that was close. I've seen way too many instances of that actually happening. Okay.
An odd occurrence.
Okay.
But now, we can take a little bit of a breath, right? What we thought initially was going to turn into a 3, maybe even 4.5k lead, now being swung over entirely.
Yeah, and Wactor, I think he did it twice. Him just using the quick sand guard in front of 3 members of CFU Gaming, and they're not bothered at all. They can just tank it as much as they want. He has enough ways to deal with it, not even having a Radiant Armor. So even without that, they don't seem to feel the threat of OP just yet.
Yeah. You also see here the reason why Boxy's been falling down real quickly. It took him until now to get his dominance eyes. Of course, he rushes the fleeting time, but then that's not going to do well for you if your team actually doesn't get a snowball lead.
Well, I mean, they have like a 3 to 4, but now the fight continues as the Tsunami Slam has already been Axie finally able to get 1 ult off, but it's not enough as the Feathered Airstrike can't peel enough. The Oki Shadow Kill will trade at least 1 back. Wadu goes down for Exie.
Yeah, and I guess that's what works for them. If they find the targets first, and that's not going to be a problem even if it's Exie. We talked about this earlier. If they have enough damage to deal with it, or if they have enough ways to hold him down before he gets to jump again, then that's an immediate -1 for CFU Gaming. Now it doesn't seem like they'll have much of a problem dealing with this Lord.
Yeah, I hope we get to see Identity though save that Feathered Airstrike.
Just as you
Just as I say it. Or maybe he was just trying to poke back OP, but decided, you know what, not worth it. The detective might be a little bit too close. We might just get chained up here, then we'll have to force our ability. So we just back off. I'm okay with that. Swift Trinity now finally achieved here by Sig, but even before that, he was already a threat. The amount of damage that he dealt with the initial start by Boxy in that big engage before Boostgate got to slightly turn it around. Well, this Moskov now needs to be watched carefully by Kazue, who has been great this game. Deathless, 4-0-2.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, actually, since we're already coming to the 12th minute of the game, I'm curious about the quote-unquote scaling these teams have. Double Trinity Marksman's trying to go. Wait, hold on. Detective, does he get it? Wait, he's actually getting all right on top of Exie here. It's a bit of an awkward position. Feathered Airstrike now coming up. Exie can peel. He should be okay, but OP is making it hard. Flicker already out. Abrasive's Wrath already gone. And back to the question, who scales better?
I have to say that CFU have really good defense, but when it comes to the late portions of the game and when they go all out at once, there's so much damage to be expected from Boostgate Esports, so I might have to give it to them because you've mentioned how they haven't paid much attention to Kazue just yet, but in the few and the rare instances they actually saw, or we actually saw Kazue go in, you could expect the amount of damage, or you could see the amount of damage that's coming from him. And it's not like Identity has been landing all these Feathered Airstrikes on the right targets just yet.
Yeah.
So long as they're able to accomplish that, Boostgate Esports have such a high potential in the late game.
Yeah, you have 2 heroes at the side of Boostgate who use HP-based damage items. With the Lantern, with the DHS as well.
Okay, a bit of an early release of the Traction Pulse there by OP, but you can definitely see the idea. But look at the waves. The waves are not in their favor. And CFU, seeing that Moskov is on the opposite side, they're looking to get some posture, some territory here by neutral ground.
Okay.
Very close. I was hoping Wadu would hold the bush a little bit more. No one's resetting this?
I think it's going to reset
There we
no
go.
matter what, because Exie's in, Raging Sandstorm. Oh, Flicker as well, with the help of RX in the back line with a feather, already with a Feathered Airstrike as well, as Wadu is able to take out 2 with RX in between. And now Sing, 1v3, already taking out Traction Pulse off the one's Kazue. He goes down, and Sing has done more than enough to close out this fight.
Sting fortunately had the flicker when Wactor and RX decided to go for him. There was the Raging Sandstorm, there was the Blazing Duet, but he was able to flicker behind the wall. And now he's able to re-engage and turn things around.
And now they're trying to close out this game. Tsunami Slam already being used onto Wactor, who can't touch the wave! Not even close! Wipeout City, and CFU will take game 1!
That's how you want to start things off in an Elimination PO3 match. Last year, it was the heartbreak from Moskov. This year, maybe it's the savior of CFU's M7 run. Still, Boostgate could force game number 3, but that is a massive heartbreaking loss. Wadu found the entry in the back to take 2 down quickly and for Sing to finish it up.
I like how I gave my shout-outs to Sing before we entered this match, and he surprised us with that Game 1 performance. It took some time. It definitely did take some time because of, again, a better laning that we saw perhaps from RX, although in the first few minutes of the game, definitely would have to give it to Sing. but it's not like it was an instant guaranteed advantage that we saw in the hands of CFU. They had to wait for this moment. They had to work for this moment, and they did not let us down.
I literally think it came down to one mistake because they were on the up and rise. They took the momentum back. They got caught with their pants down, and unfortunately, Identity was just sitting on top of the battle mirror image, which allowed the EXP laner to just cut both of them. So it's just one of those unfortunate events.
Yeah. I think unfortunate is the best way to describe this game because it was going so good for Boostgate. CFU also very competitive. I feel like Wadu found some key moments as well to ensure that CFU Gaming would be able to get a little bit of more control in the game. They're not resting on their laurels. They know that the job isn't finished just yet, but that should feel really good for CFU.
Oh, I bet it does, especially considering looking at the players' faces, they all looked at each other and they're like, that wasn't our cleanest game.
Yeah.
We can do a lot better. Let's just not put ourselves in that position anymore. We can't let them just swing us 4,000 gold.
Yeah, because honestly, that last play that Boostgate went for was something they already did before. It was something they did earlier in that game. So it was in the exact same spot. It was right beside that that single jungle creep, and then
the golem. Yeah,
yeah, the golem.
So the exact same spot.
It's the exact same spot, and then for some reason, I guess they would, or CFU definitely would not allow that to happen twice because that would be too much. And they had a lot of ways to get around or to get out of it. Again, I did highlight the flicker that Singh had and used just to get out of the range of both the Blazing Duet, not even the Raging Sandstorm, because he was able to dodge that by himself, by a sidestep. And then he used the flicker to reposition himself once again. And the MVP of that game has to be Wadu, because you mentioned it. He was the guy who jumped towards the backlines, who opened things up for Singh to do his job.
Yeah, 4, 2, and 8, that dive to the back. This is why man-marking EXP laners is so important in MLBB. With the sheer damage output, the best EXP laners can dish out. Unfortunately, Boostgate decided to go all in, forgetting about the Lapu-Lapu, setting up Wadu for an MVP performance. So let's do this thing now with Brigida.
Yeah, and even earlier, right, there was a rotation coming in from Wadu towards the top lane, which ensured that the BMI was no longer accessible for RX. But if we were to look at the highlights right now, definitely a lot were somehow working out for CFU Gaming in the early stages of the game, because it's not like Kazue has been as active just yet. It's not like they were, or Wactor was able to look for the right timings on the Raging Sandstorm just yet. But it was those moments that Boostgate Esports decided to fight all at once, which kind of shifted things a bit for CFU Gaming. So long as they were just able to hold their key players or their positions down, and similar to what we're seeing right here, Singh, so long as he's not going down immediately, then they definitely have constant ways of turning things around. Because as much as they were forced to use a lot of their resources defensively, I'd like to particularly point out Boxy on the Kalea. It was something that was necessary for them, and it's not entirely something that was bad, because at least they still had resources that they could use differently depending on the needs, or depending on how they needed to attack or approach that particular fight. And this was where things turned around. So I wasn't able to entirely capture that last moment, or that crucial mistake, you would call it, for Boostgate Esports. But that was, again, all enabled here by Wadu. And I think it's also something we might want to talk about, right? Because we're so used to seeing XC on highlight XP laners and playmakers, and I think we saw that similar approach when he was on the Phoveus. But Boostgate Esports wasn't able to completely follow through.
I think they have miscategorized what this Phoveus is actually supposed to do, because XE is playing it as if he is full damage. I'm a 1v5, I'm gonna sustain through all of it. That's just not true with the build that he's going for. He is raw peel. He is supposed to be the mud on the road that's supposed to stop trucks from getting across, right? And that's the whole idea. But CFU made sure, hey, if XE is here, if we position really, really well, we can actually just CC him to the ground and make the rest of his member think twice. Hey, do we have to re-engage? Hey, do we have to actually just play for our lives and just give XE up? that's the big problem that BGT have. Too many decisions needed to be made, but there's one singular call that they need to learn, and that's play to live. They need to make that call early. There's so many fights where they posture like, oh, should I go back in? XE, should I save? No. Play to win. Let XE die. Save your 4 members.
I think this is one of those times where of course, one of the questions posed earlier was in terms of the damage output as the game goes on, Boostgate. And I think they leaned onto that idea way too hard, where there were some times where it's like, yeah, we get it, you have the damage, but you gotta protect one of your damage dealers, you gotta protect Identity. At the beginning of this, even as we were heading into it, you mentioned that when Identity falls, you see Boostgate start to crumble. And I think that's a little bit more indicative of a sickness that maybe Boostgate needs to patch quickly, which is XE and Wactor cannot be diving and going together at the same time. There needs to be one of them peeling for Identity so that you have a tighter formation with better protection for your back.
They probably wanted to do that a bit more. I think I saw the Winter Crown pickup from XE.
Yeah.
But it wasn't enough. Like, they probably weren't able to find the right timings anymore, so...
Maybe we'll find out a little bit more info because we actually have an interview with some key figures. So let's listen in on this.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Side Report with Rose. And with Rose, we have with me Z and of course Poji as our translator and our fellow Cambodian friend today. How are you guys doing?
After we lost 2 games, and we have one meeting.
Oh, one meeting. Now, speaking of losing your first...
We do a lot after we losing 2 games. We have one meeting, and today game, we just all in to play.
All into play. I definitely can see the improvements from compared to the previous 2 games that you guys played in the Swiss stage. Now, Z, maybe you can share with us a little bit. What happened in the meeting?
This a lot to talk because we lost 2 games. Yes, we all feel sad, and I feel sad for Cambodia fan too that we can. Dear fan, feel sad too.
Best in game. You may now go join your team in preparation for game number 2. And with me right now, we have Poji. Now,
Hello, Bong.
Hello, Poji. Now that Z is gone, I want to know a little bit more about CFU. Now, last month, there was a tournament in Malaysia in which Poji was also there at the venue and was consistently hanging out with the Cambodian team. In your perspective, as an outsider, right? What is the biggest difference with CFU just last month and this month, and why such a shaky start?
ខែមុននេះពិបាកតិចស្រួលនៅម៉ាឡេដកស្រួលតិចជាមួយមានច្រើនទីមមកពីស្រកផ្សេងឥឡូវនេះនៅ M7 នេះវាពិបាកតិចទាំងអស់ទីមមកពីខ្លាំងស្រកក្រៅនៅមកពិបាក maybe ពិបាកចិត្តទាំងអស់ខ្លាំងហួរ
I think I can understand what you said.
Oh, is it? I'm sorry.
So he said that previously, just last month, in the tournament that CFU participated in Malaysia, the teams were not really as big as M7.
True.
Oh my god, guys. I'm learning a new language. And now that they're here in M7 with so much bigger teams participating, bigger regions, of course, the players feel a tad bit pressured.
Yes.
A tad bit stressed. Was that correct?
True.
Wow. Okay, guys, we added another language into my resume. And of course, you've covered CFU and the Cambodia region as a reporter before. In your opinion, and right now, how has the fans been like? Like, honestly, are they really as nice as what Z said?
មែនទេនៅទាំងអស់យ៉ាង group នោះទាំងអស់ supportive ទាំងអស់ពួកម៉ាក់បងប្អូនម៉ែឪមកទាំងអស់ចាំកុំ give up អីមែនយើងនេះកូនខ្មែរយើងឲ្យឈ្នះឲ្យជាមួយយើងនេះទាំងអស់ពួកស្រកនេះសប្បាយចិត្តយើងចង់ឈ្នះចង់ចាញ់ទេ
So Z was right. They're still very much supportive in the Facebook community group. They are definitely supporting their representative, sending them positive words of affirmation and all that kind of stuff, right? Thank you very much, Poji, and thank you for helping me add another language into my resume. And with that, let us go back into the game to find out if CFU Gaming can avoid this elimination match.
What do they feed y'all in Malaysia? You guys have the trilingual king and queen there. Thought it was just Rose, but then Poji also knows Khmer, English, and Bahasa?
Yeah, he does. And
does he know a fourth language?
That's what I'm trying to figure out, because Rose is learning a new one, so that would make her a quadrilingual? Is that I don't know how that one works, but
let's go four-lingual, so it's easier for us.
Oh, four linguals for sure, but that's definitely a Homoy Mao moment for sure.
Yeah, Homoy Mao. Man, Poji knowing Khmer was not on my book.
Of course. Oh, by the way, I forgot to pass you this earlier. I borrowed it all of yesterday for it.
Why is it? What's with this weird texture?
It's a different case. It's a different case, man. It's the real me. It's what I look like on the inside.
What did you do with this phone?
What does it feel like?
Whoa!
What
have you been using the AI for?
Hey, don't show that on camera.
Okay.
Personally, I use it to, find the win weight predictions. I can analyze gold items and everything in real time, all thanks to the AI without having to think much about it. It's like having a strategic coach in your pocket, and that's the AI gaming coach for you. But it doesn't stop just there, Renmar, because let me tell you, when the fight breaks out, its consecutive skill features let you unleash a perfect preset combo with just one tap. It guides your strategy and elevates your execution. That's a full AI-powered edge.
Whoa.
All right, I know some people got sick of seeing me on camera for a while, so Brigitte, can you hold this real quick?
Wait, what?
Hold that. Stare into that single cam.
Look at that camera right over there.
All right, from prediction to performance, it's the complete package. You play, we carry Realme 15 Pro, the M7 official gaming phone.
Did I act that out?
That was perfect. That was perfect. That's going to get all the clips. All of the clips. Because let me tell you, because of all these clips people have been doing, I had no time to do the Battle Pass.
Yeah, man. The Battle Pass has been on since New Year's. I know some of us were probably, way too full to even move out of bed, but it's filled with epic rewards. Granger's Thunder Ascendant Epic Skin, the Cosmic Finality Prime Skin, the M7 figurine, battle effects, Prime Avatar Border, and more. We may be including a potential meet and greet with Brigitte as part of the... That's actually not true.
No,
sorry
it's not
about
true.
that. Sorry about
but
that.
I want to say it.
Okay,
can I say it?
Yeah.
Because it's one of my favorite heroes this season. Plus, you can get Gatot Kacha's Solar Spark for free. I already got it. Fan favorite M5 Yuzhong skins and revamped M Championship skins are also making a limited time return. So don't miss out on all the wonderful rewards. What I love about this Gatot Kacha skin is that the joystick looks different. the basic attack buttons look different.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a special skin.
Yeah. Is it just locked to the skin? But I think they're including more of that in different packages in game where you can change like how some of the UI color looks. Yeah, the presets, really cool. And if you want a free skin, just log in for 13 days between January 9th and 31st server time to unlock Edith's Verdant Night completely free. It's that easy. Just log in. Don't miss out. I still keep missing out on it. I keep missing out on the button I actually need to press to claim it.
We just used Edith earlier today.
Yeah, we played games earlier today and I still missed out on it somehow.
Yeah, not to mention that there's a big red dot where the event button actually is. It's like, please click me. It's that easy.
I don't know why I'm not doing it, but hey, let's look at the draft. Boostgate and CFU game number 2. I think CFU, it works out well for them if they play towards a more, how do I call this? Standard approach front to back. It works out well for them. Yeah, they're susceptible to just getting dove on, but it looks like with Wadu being as locked in as he is, EXP laners are usually the saving grace of the front to back lineup because they're the ones that can dive the opponent.
Speaking of which, I do want to kind of talk about specifically the wild cards, right? Because that's a lot of information, and luckily with Tezet, we did get a bit of an idea of what he was thinking. It's like I think we revealed too much data during the wild cards, which could be a disadvantage for us, but we accept that and will continue to work with what we have. We're confident.
Yeah, because I think it was something we kind of mentioned earlier too before heading into this match, and I think he confirmed that that might have been the case for a lot of teams that they previously went up against, and it would be sad if that's gonna be the same outcome in this series and they're not able to completely adapt. But this is Coach Tezet, and what we saw from Boostgate's draft really wasn't bad. So I think it's again an in-game error that we were able to highlight in game number 1. But this is a complete reset for both of them, and we could start anew.
It really was. And especially in game 1 when we saw the counter index, it was literally 0.4, negative 0.4 and positive 0.4. Really not much of a difference.
So, CFU, if you can, just tighten up your formations and team fightings and your man marking. Already heavily well into the draft. We're straight up in the first pick for CFU. I wouldn't mind if they just get the Kalea again, honestly. It worked out well for them, and they look comfortable with it. Oh! But this time they're going to be going for the Claude Rush instead.
I actually like this a lot, considering that Wactor was, again, trying to control the earlier stages of the game by actually looking to clear out a majority of these waves and still looking to harass. Obviously, can't do much specifically against Detective, but people like Singh, for an example, people like Boxy definitely felt that pressure.
Yeah. Wait, is CFU trying to bait Boostgate into picking up a Fanny?
Cause that's the thing.
Because Fanny's open, they first pick Claude.
Because if they really want to play Fanny, then it's just going to be Kalia Fanny here, right?
Fanny, so that's gonna limit them a bit. And there's still a Yisun Shin Fredrin if they wanted to consider those other junglers. But yeah, Kazuha is known for the assassins.
Let's see what this is going to be. It's going to be the Farsa again, all right. Rather bold to show Farsa. They also get rid of the Gatot, which I think at least from the POV of Wadu, he's like, give it to me again. Give me a Yuzong, give me a Arlic, give me a Lapu. I'll do it.
Yeah, or maybe they could potentially consider it in Red 3 once they see a bit more of what CFU wants to pick up.
Yeah. Now they have the Claude here. We'll see if you end up picking up a lineup that leans heavily towards the mid to the late game. Although now with Claudes, they are much more active faster. I think that's one of the best things about the DHS changes. Instead of just being lane locked to waiting for the Trinity, as long as you got the DHS, you can get out of the lane. You can start joining, do double lane, and then you can even join the Turtle fights by Turtle 2, Turtle 3. So I think you mentioned some of the best EXP laners are used, Lapu, Arlot, all of them great options that they can pick up now.
Yeah, so they don't get banned out. Although Uranus show will be the option instead for CFU. Not a lot of.
I have a sneaking suspicion. Oh, I don't know if that sneaking suspicion is going to be correct now that the instant carry lock-in is going to come in from the side of BGT. I'm thinking whether or not Detective is like, let's do a bit of a throwback instead of 2 seasons, one season ago.
So this is Detective's hero?
It could be. I don't know, because I don't see the way that it synergizes with the rest of the comp. Usually the big indicators would be like having a Farsa, having a Eve, somebody that has magic, has burst, or some form of peel, and you just slow them down and strip away their MR.
Oh, so this is like Boostgate having to think about whether or not they still want to target heroes for Wadu, because this might not actually be Wadu's hero, and if they don't consider that, then he'll just have access to more.
And then you have a shafted EXP, right? It's a rock and a hard place. That's what they want to set up. Is Lunox is the next ban coming in for BGT.
If ever see if you want to lean toward the possibility of this Uranus going into the jungle, I'd want to see them pair with Valentina, because they need that extra bit of control that she can dish out with the Terrifies. Yeah, you're not going to have a great time in the range department, but then you'll have a lot of control. Just put the concussive blast there onto the Cho, then that'll help balance you out in terms of you getting prio in the mid. I'd want to see them also take out the Kimmy here. Oh wait, no, they don't need to because there's already Farce on the other side. So yeah, they're fine.
Oh, now there you go. Taking out the Fanny.
This is really good. If Tamago really thought about this from beginning to the end, he's probably a genius, because I think he's figured out that there is a bit of a pattern with, hey, we show really tanky boy, and now that we've taken Claude, you have to go carry. There's just no other options, right? And then now they're forced to take Purify alongside with it because the Cho has already been locked in, and this could have been a Kalia. So the real question is, why was the Cho over the Kalia in the first place, unless we are looking to flex?
Yeah. I mean, they saw they got the catch already. You'd want to be able to match the healing and the Purify. Maybe they are going to be flexing this Cho.
So many questions for CFU. Now they take out the Kimmy as well. So maybe now we might get to see a more unique or uncommon mid lane pick come into play for CFU.
Novaria,
because the Jushin, Eve, Farsa's
the classics are all gone.
Yeah. Look at that pure target. Even with the Uranus on their side, they didn't need to ban out the YSS anymore, but they just decided, nope, Kazuya, you're gonna have to show something else, man. You're playing a completely different hero. And if he ends up going with something unique, play him more.
No, I think this is a mistake. I think this is not... As much as we've seen a decent overall performance from Leomords, I think right now the most useful that he could have gone for was probably the Fredrin in this case, right? So far, there's not a lot of big damage dealers other than this Claude so far. But then CFU, the mid laner pool has been limited down to things like Lilia, things like Novaria. It's either she's going to be completely outside of the fight, away from your range, or there's a potential punish that's waiting to happen. But we'll just wait and see.
Yeah. You mentioned it, the Lilia, the Novarias, those are the other options still available. They're...
Oh, what if they go Kadita?
Kadita. For the Farsa, I think, yeah, that works.
Not bad. I don't hate the plan.
There's a Kagura too, if they want it. Oh, there you go.
Really good call. Really good call. When you see Uranus, you're thinking magic, whatever you can really double down on.
Yeah.
With Joy and Kadita, I'm liking CFU's composition, but it's all based on that momentum, right?
Yeah. And it's a Cho Kadita, so no one's safe if you're Boostgate Esports here, if they get to find the right targets. It's an EXP laner we're looking at.
Yeah, only the Filipinos are going to get the reference that I'm about to say, but see if you are about to take Boostgate to a Filipino vacation to Splash Island. Shout out to the Filipinos on the broadcast. I know you guys are there.
Yeah, you could search it if you're not Filipino.
Yeah.
XP lane options are still so open. Everything we mentioned are there. They just go for the safest one.
Like a Phobius? Yeah. Well, it makes sense. You see the Joy, you pick up the Phobius, you have the dashes activated through. I'm leaning a little bit more towards CFU for this one, but both of these lineups to me are like, if any one of us mess up in the first big fight, maybe around Turtle 1 or 2, then we're just gonna completely lose it.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna have to crawl back.
Personally, I think it's a lot easier for BGT to kind of snowball out of control. CFU, they need those skills specifically onto Detective, specifically onto Oppie, to make sure that they can just chain their ults to always get those kills.
Yeah. So, there you go. RS picking up the Purify. Identity does not, though. So I think it's gonna be quite tough for him to make sure that he doesn't get caught by either the Way of the Dragon, the knockups of the Jeet Kundo, or the Breath of the Ocean.
Boostgate are on the brink of elimination while CFU holding on to match point. This could be their best shot, their best chance to end it here now and avoid a game number 3. Boostgate needs to protect their identity if they want to stand strong.
Very early on, we see that at least both junglers are going to be starting on the same side of the map as the side laners now taking early engagements, which is exactly what you want to see. Boxy already putting down low as OP hits level 2.
Oh, that's a fast clear. Rotation probably coming in for CFU Gaming, but if it's just fast rotations we're talking about, then that's a farce that you're up against. So at this point in the game, Boostgate Esports can definitely be the more aggressive team, especially if they're constantly able to scout where Boxy and OP are like this, forcing them to recall even. So this is something they probably want to take advantage of, but wait.
I think this is exactly what they want, right? BGT understand that, hey, actually we have better wave clear because it's a 2v2 lane. Double, concussive blast on both of these supports as well. Not to mention that generally Gatot is going to clear slightly faster than Cho, who hasn't put himself in danger.
Yeah, because the way that CFU Gaming were able to fast clear that mid wave was a bit forced if you were to look at it.
I'm so surprised that Wacker was not able to connect with the taunt. That should have been a kill. Luckily, I mean, or at least minimum a flicker. That's totally true as well.
And XC was able to get the EXP from the crab, and now CFU. Boxy has to watch out for his timing when he's going to use his dashes, because X is going to have a field day in the big team fights with the Joy and the Cho around.
And I think right now the poke is so important from Alpi. Oh wait, full commitment actually. Summoning Barbiel to get right on top of Alpi. Bertha Yoshi into Petrify as well. Doesn't connect just yet. But with Barbiel, the extra stats is useful. Wacker about to go down. Revitalize keeps him alive and puts Detective down to 1/4 of his HP. A statement said, expectations not met just yet.
Could have been so much better for Boostgate. I think they clearly wanted to get OP without this level 4 yet. Oh!
Feathered Airstrike already out as well as the rough waves. It's going to be a little bit of a dance as Identity tries and holds on to his last 2 shots of Feathered Airstrike. Wadu still existing, being frustrating as Identity stuns him and moves away. It's going to be an early Purify here from Wadu on top of the concentration, but still, Boostgate Esports takes the very first turtle.
Yeah, Detective just decides to trade and take some enemy jungle camps from that. Not too much of a significant lead just yet. But this is where I feel like Boostgate might want to be a bit more cautious. At least they have the advantage now, but then CFU Gaming, they're really being keen on looking and holding these bushes where they could pass through. So fortunately, the rotations have been working out for them so far. Oh, wow.
I like the aggression.
Yep.
I like he's not allowing Wachter to get into any good, comfortable position, and now the pressure is onto RX.
I think most people, especially for those casuals who are looking to get into professional MLBB, 80% of the game is really just posturing for better positions than your opponent. And I think that's something that most people need to get behind.
There you go.
Good position, good kick, but instantly canceled out the second half. Thank God for Wachter.
Yep.
Identity saved.
Fortunately.
I think that little snapshot is gives me an idea as to why Identity chose not to go for the Purify, because he knows that the clock can easily come in. He'd rather reposition.
Breath of the Ocean, straight away, full combination with the rough waves. OP finds another kill, and this Feathered Airstrike is looking less and less impactful for the first 4 minutes of this game.
There's so much control between the Cho and the Kadita together. Identity gets away.
I'm surprised the Detective actually didn't want to go further to trade out against Identity, but I think he saw Kazaway just at the edge of his screen. Yeah. He's like, it's not worth the trade.
Yeah, Boxy was there to scout him out too. They're holding the brushes really, really well. So whatever we mentioned about Boostgate and their rotations earlier on seems to hold true. Blazing Do It already used by Sing.
Yeah,
alt for alt.
I think at this point I really don't want to see the carry Claude matchup anymore, because it's just very clear all the Claudes just win against that carry.
Yeah, there's just nothing you can really do about it, especially now that it gets the hybrid lifesteal. So it's like trading is even crazier.
Okay. Boxy still has the flicker, by the way. So if he did want to go for a target, then he might actually be able to reach for whoever that is.
I think Boxy was called off, but now this next upcoming fight is about to occur. Concentration has already been gone through as Wadu is trying to peel them off behind a cage. Detective instantly takes out Lee's Identity, gets Wachter as well, making it look easy as the entire front line ditches their mid laners. And as you can see, CFU gonna do whatever they want as they chain CC, XC to the ground. Boxy ends up getting disrespected. And finally, Detective getting a killing spree. 3 kills for him in the first 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah, but Boxy standing there in front of Boostgate Esports was so deceptive because it wasn't actually him who was planning to start things off. It was Detective who just went in straight for the kill onto Identity and everything else followed after that. So Boostgate Esports, they have more than 1 or 2 problems to think about.
I appreciate Wactor for trying to protect Identity.
Yeah.
At the end, the CFU just with their toolkit, a little bit more mobility, a little bit more annoying to catch out. It's the Kadita and the Joy. One taunt is going to be so difficult to land, so I really can't blame Wactor for not landing it.
Yep, that's why you got to deny space and why Boostgate needed an early lead to be able to dictate the game. Because CFU Gaming, they're setting up tolls at every single intersection of this map. And Boostgate can't walk away without at least paying the price.
Yeah, so far it's only been Boxy that's been the sacrifice for CFU Gaming, and that's okay. That's all good. Oh, that's another. Yeah, I could feel the nerf, you know.
Those are the 2 overly aggressive guys at the club who are just like, what? Who's gonna flinch first? Unfortunately, there it was actually Wactor and Boxy was just like, all right, cool story, bro.
I mean, both of them refuse to give up the space. Feathered airstrike getting called early on. I mean, yes, he'll come back up. Wait, hold on. They're going even further, forcing the rough waves early from OP. Okay, wait, hold on, because now 40 seconds till the next turtle actually spawns an XC. Force the flicker out as Detective wants to dive him. They could still dive him if they wanted to. Running out of that passive, but Kazaway is nearby. Wadu forced the ult, and now Detective must commit an all-in. Doesn't connect on his last dash, though.
Boostgate Esports, it seems like they really are trying to target OP down, but that highlight or that exchange we saw in the bottom lane really was something. Okay.
Yeah, lots of deterrence being thrown at that Kadita. The moment you see it, Feathered Airstrike, I don't care. They just want to take out the ultimate as soon as possible.
Yeah, in the wings by wings towards the Kadita after. Oh, speaking of the Kadita.
One shot! All right, item list. We need to see the item list. What's going on here?
Bro, that's busted.
That was so much more damage than I thought it was going to be.
It's Genius Wand Rush, and then he also had Rupture with him.
Oh my goodness, and now we get into the next fight as Wactor. Again, he's already revealed all 4 members. And some Steed already coming out. Feathered Airstrike as well. As Zing gets right on top of Identity. Force the flicker away into 3 as Kazaway gets kicked right into the middle of the fight. RX takes out Boxy at the very least, and that's gonna be it. Kazaway does he manage to survive? RX takes out Zing as well, and mega kill for Detective Wactor. The final man to fall down as Wadu picks up the skull. 2 for 2 trade.
That shouldn't have been a 2 for 2, but RX stood strong in that bush and got Boxy and Sing.
Yeah, you know what they say about the carry and the claw when it's just a basic attack matchup that we're seeing, and without the blazing duet, RX definitely could have dealt with him. Oh, but hold on, here in the top lane.
The dive, and he's gone. Electrifying beats just to show who's the boss.
I feel so bad for Identity this series. CFU Gaming have not been letting him play.
Yeah, we did kind of float around the idea of why he chose the Flicker over the Purify. But if they're not able to play as aggressively or anticipate what CFU Gaming is planning to do, then it's gonna be all the more difficult that he finds the purpose in this flicker choice. Oh, another flicker.
Really good way of the dragon into the flicker, into the rough waves, petrified follow-up, perfect chain CC, as Identity is able to take one and back in Detective, getting a shutdown for himself as XC, flickers the wrong direction! No! Out of range, unable to pick up the most important kill.
Or did the Dark Wave actually land, but there was just not enough damage?
Yeah, again, they flickered in different directions here. Blazing Duet!
It's good enough. 50% of their HP in a mid-turret down.
Identity and RX couldn't do anything, not even with the amount of range that they had, as they stood under that tier 1 turret in an attempt to defend it from CFU Gaming. This is a 3k gold lead that we're just talking about. But even without all this, like the burst damage that you could already expect, OP and Detective, the magic damage, and that's That's without Sing going into Blazing Duet.
Yeah, speaking about burst, Identity just built up his first main damage item. He had to go for Blood Wings first and just built up the Lightning Truncheon. So maybe now we're going to start to feel even more damage from this Farsa, not just on the squishier members of CFU Gaming. But the problem is he cannot get into position. Detective has been stellar with his entry timings.
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at the items so far. I mean, double Genius Wands, right? One from OP, one from Detective. Even the MR doesn't feel that great. As Wadu, once again, he's back on the peel. He doesn't mind going toe-to-toe against Xe here, especially when Sing is right behind him. Look at that! Xe getting put down at 10% of his HP as the Feathered Airstrike is forced out just to save his life. This is going to be a no contest very soon, but look at the position of OP. No, it's about to happen. And now RX trying to live. Electrifying Beats was more than enough. And Kadena is out of there. OP, oh my god, he tried to outplay it, but the animation was too long.
Yeah, the passive was there to make sure that OP went down before he could have even casted the Rough Waves. So now Identity actually picks up the kill, but that's the Lord in the hands of CFU Gaming.
Brother OP, you did not need to enter anymore. He was... Detective did the job. He was aight, bro. Okay, fight for the purple buff. Kazooie gets his own.
Oh, they should be able to walk out of here, but now the Feathered Airstrike is being committed as well. The Purify nicely used by Wadu, and he survives the damage despite the empowered autos as he chases them back. Oh no, the mouse turns into the cat. Predator now turned into prey as they hold their ground into the mid lane. Notice that the orange buff is being stolen away as well as getting shoved from the top side. The continuous back and forth. Nobody will give up the territory.
What was that zigzag walk from Wadu that we saw earlier? He was walking side to side and...
Hey, Uranus doesn't walk, he floats.
Oh, he floated zigzag.
Yes, attempting his best rendition of Thriller.
Kazooie couldn't even catch him, not even with Barbiel.
Yeah, they really need to give him a little more, like, movement speed when he's on Barbiel. I'm going to be perfectly honest here. It does feel kind of slow sometimes without the Hunter Strike, but now that he's got the BRB as well as the Hunter Strike, things should even up, especially if they're low.
Oh no, that's a Wind of Nature pickup for Sing as well.
I take it back.
So, he might be a bit more confident going in.
I get it, because the Leomord, but I wish he packed Winter Crown instead.
And even so, Boxy is still trying to look for angles. Really good defense coming in from Boostgate Esports. They're really taking advantage of their wave clear due to Identity and even Whacker making sure that the space is going to be uncontested.
Yeah, my guess is because RX, like we saw the mini 1v1s that he's been having with RX, and when it's you're against the carry when it comes to the basic attacks, it's just so hard to win against that. So maybe he's banking on that idea if it ever comes down to that, but does that...
Ouch, ouch.
Ooh,
He's gone. Goes forward with BMI right into Blazing Duet and in straight to the electrifying beats. Every ult under the sun, 4 members dead. Didn't even need to do much of my job to make that one happen.
Yeah.
That's the CFU. What a decisive fight.
Boxy making sure that Detective was able to walk out safely too by tanking the turret shots. It might just be it.
There it is. Right at the very end. Unbelievable. CFU, for what looked to be a stalemate, turned it to an overwhelming victory.
CFU survives. And unfortunately, Boostgate from the wild card will now have to say goodbye. The Sharks dormant no more. In a plot twist that even Agatha Christie herself couldn't write, it was Detective who did it. It was him all along.
Detective who we thought would be on the Uranus, but no.
Oh.
It was Wadu using it.
I'm so glad he didn't have to go back to like, I have to use Raiders in the jungle. This time, really, really well thought draft from CFU, from every single aspect. And of course, Boxy just showing his veterancy in the angles and opportunities he creates for CFU.
And weren't we looking for M6 CFU to come back? Because this did feel very much like it. I'm not just talking about the Joy, because the Joy definitely was a pick during the M6, but the way and the manner that they just executed this game, even though there were some small plays which were a bit questionable, but it looked rather funny because they were way too ahead to make such crucial mistakes like the one that OP did.
That's definitely one of those moments where it's just like, come on, detective.
Couldn't you have told me a little bit sooner? I want. It's. Oh, why is it the first highlight? Oh no!
Right there. Dude,
Here we
he
go.
just wanted the participation award. It's just like, I couldn't read it.
I feel like for Opie, those like, man, I don't care. We won. We're still in M7, man. You can clown me all you want, but I'm still here. And he definitely did show up there in the end, eventually getting the double kill, ending it with 5-1-5. I like the Kadita. Once it showed up, I was like, yeah, this is probably the doom for Boostgate, because it was clear. It seems like CFU already knew just how important identity was to every moment that Boostgate likes to play the game. They said, let's just pick all the picks that will mess up this Forza.
Yeah.
That's why I was thinking whether or not, like, after seeing the arenas, maybe lean into, like, yeah, sure, you're giving away the Farsa, but, like, take a Purify, take a Lilia, call it a day, you know?
Yeah. Fortunately, we'll have to say goodbye to Boostgate. But now, we're going to pass on you on over to the stage for an interview.
Interview. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for CFU Gaming! A team that has made it out of the elimination match today. And with me here on stage, we have Opie and Detective. Hello once again, boys. Let's start with Opie first. Opie, how do you feel after finally winning a match after losing 2 of your first matches in the Swiss stage?
ខ្ញុំមានអារម្មណ៍ថាវាធម្មតានិយាយមែនបងធម្មតាពួកអីចាំឈ្នះទាំងអស់ហ្នឹងបានរៀងសប្បាយចិត្ត
He said that I feel normal because like we just winning or if we continue winning and get to the playoff, yeah, we'll be more happy.
I agree, but you know, step by step, small steps is all it takes. Opie, you say you feel normal after winning the match, but how did you feel coming to the match today? Did you feel excited? Did you come with full spirits?
ខ្ញុំមានអារម្មណ៍ថាឈ្នះនៅថ្ងៃហ្នឹងគឺជាបានន័យថាវាគឺជា power មួយសម្រាប់ team ឲ្យយើងមានកម្លាំងប្រកួតនៅម៉ាច់ក្រោយ
For the win today, I have we have more powerful like momentum and continue for the next round.
Yeah, I did see the shift in momentum coming from CFU Gaming, especially just now since we interviewed Z. He said that you guys had a heart-to-heart talk prior to this match. And of course, Detective, we've seen that you have been trying to somewhat adapt to the current meta. What are your thoughts about this?
I'm not really adapting because I can play any meta.
Oh, you don't have to adapt because you can play any meta. Now, if you don't mind, I just want to ask a little bit because just last month we were together in Kuala Lumpur, right? And in that tournament, you guys placed top 2. And coming into this tournament, you guys were a little bit shaky. And based on my interview just now with Poji, he said that it could be due to the reason that you guys perhaps felt a little bit more pressured coming into this tournament, or what is it really?
I think that not really because it has been a long time since the last tournament. It's just that teams in M7 is a lot stronger.
People have been definitely stepping up.
Yes.
You know what, Detective? OP, you guys have survived an elimination match. How about give a thing or two to our Cambodian fans watching at home?
ទៅកាន់អ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នាដំបងឡើយសូមទោសដែលមួយថ្ងៃមុនធ្វើអត់បានល្អតែគ្រាន់ថ្ងៃនេះគឺភាសាឡើងហើយខ្ញុំសង្ឃឹមថាស្អែកទៅវានឹងល្អជាងនេះទៀតតែខ្ញុំសូមអរគុណទៅដល់អ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នាដែលនៅតែមានទំនុកចិត្តលើពួកខ្ញុំសង្ឃឹមថាពួកខ្ញុំនឹងមិនធ្វើឲ្យអ្នកទាំងអស់គ្នាខកចិត្តឡើយ
Okay, so we are sorry for the previous match that we did not do very well, and we hope that you are for the fan back home you are forgiving us, and we hope to do better in the next round.
Thank you very much to CFU. Once again, congratulations to Detective and OP. And without further ado, let us throw it back to the panel to break down what happened in this clean sweep series.
Well, According to a detective, it's not a matter of evolution and adaptation. They are very ready to do just that. Of course, another prolific win here for CFU Gaming. Still retaining their slot in M7. Great effort once again for Boostgate, and a show of love from the Indonesian crowd here, of course, for CFU.
Yeah, definitely a lot of fans being converted here within Indonesia, because again, with a game like that and with a spectacular ending, every ult was able to get a kill. That just feels so good.
Yeah, and I'm loving the confidence from CFU so far, because you would have thought that they'd feel a bit more, I don't know, low spirits after what they've been through in the Swiss stage. But hearing from Detective how it doesn't matter what the meta is because he could play any meta, it seems like they're still there.
This Joy was a menace.
Oh, dude, let me tell you about Joy getting with the changes to Genius Wand in particular. It feels so good when you get that first kill. It snowballs so quickly, out of control. He got a Holy Crystal like nearing to like 6 to 7 minutes. That's how quick he was getting these items.
Yep, and that highlight play he did towards the end where he just went in, you would have thought it's too deep in, but he had the Winter Crown.
Yeah.
And that's where everyone just helped him get out of the turret. Boxy standing, taking third shots, and then he just walked out of it safely after getting, what, 2 or 3 kills off of Boostgate Esports. So this Joy had damage that Boostgate could not handle at all. That's not even including the Karita that, you know, missed.
Yeah, it went by way too fast. I like how CFU just leaned in on the idea of like, let's end this quick. They were confident. They knew that they could just jump on Boostgate. You had 3 major damage dealers in terms of magic. Yes, I count the Uranus there. So, Brigida, is there something that you'd like to share with us?
I'm trying to look at... Oh, this was that one play we saw earlier where it was just as if that Boxy was looking for a target, but he actually was not. He was just probably getting the information necessary for Detective and OP to go in at the perfect and the exact same time. And that's where CFU Gaming clearly started snowballing and getting the advantage again and again. And in this particular moment, I feel like we started to feel how Identity couldn't really activate himself, because there was just too much reach from CFU again. And this is saying
Your team is banning. Please ban a hero. The enemy is picking.
Experience the euphony
Your
of
team
suffering.
is picking.
I, Minotaur, will finish off what was left undone.
I am the sovereign of the abyss, the
enemy is
slayer of
picking.
gods.
Let's play together.
Valor and royalty in a dead
Your
body.
team is picking.
Rise beyond greatness and reignite the star.
The southern
enemy is
seas
picking.
are my domain.
The incarnation of Capricorn
Weaving through
is
time's
here.
threads, I hope to
Please
find a
pick a
strand that's
hero.
truly mine.
They call me a hero because I saved my nation from falling apart.
Welcome to Mobile Legends! 5 seconds till the enemy reaches the battlefield. Smash them! All troops deployed!
If you can predict the enemy's moves, you won't be defeated. Duty, honor, and homeland. My reputation is built on my bravery and loyalty. Our victory will be decisive.
First blood!
A true warrior never backs down from a fight. I go wherever the wind takes me. A good army should be flexible, like water. Stay loyal, stay humble. Only by facing the enemy can one know his true self.
An ally has slain the turtle!
A true warrior never backs down from a fight. Only by facing the enemy can one know his true self.
Initiate retreat. Okay.
Duty, honor, and homeland.
Initiate
I
retreat.
go wherever the wind takes me.
An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain. Ult is not ready.
Stay loyal. Stay humble. A good army should be flexible, like water. My reputation is built on my bravery and loyalty. If you can predict the enemy's moves, you won't fear.
Request backup.
Invading jungle.
Our victory will be decisive.
Double kill.
A true warrior never backs down from a fight.
Launch attack. Attack the turtle. Okay.
Only by facing the enemy can one know his true self.
Enemy has slain the turtle.
If you can predict the enemy's moves, you won't be defeated.
Initiate retreat.
Our victory will be decisive.
Request backup.
My reputation is built on my bravery and loyalty. A good army should be flexible, like water.
Launch attack. Killing spree. Initiate retreat. Your team destroyed the turret. Initiate retreat.
I go wherever the wind takes me.
Shut down.
Duty, honor, and homeland. Stay loyal. Stay humble.
Enemy invading jungle. Solo kill.
Initiate attack. Initiate retreat.
A true warrior never backs down from a fight.
Initiate retreat. Launch attack. Request backup.
Duty, honor, and homeland.
Unstoppable.
Brilliant control.
Triple kill.
A worthy death for a true warrior.
slain the turtle.
Our victory
turret
will
has
be
been
decisive.
destroyed. Launch attack. Our turret is under attack.
Because of my bravery and loyalty. I go wherever the wind takes me.
Initiate retreat.
A good army should be flexible, like water. If you can predict the enemy's moves, you won't be defeated. Only by facing the enemy can one know his true self.
Our turret has been destroyed.
Duty.
Our turret is under attack. Initiate retreat.
Stay loyal. Stay humble. A true warrior never backs down from a fight.
Launch attack.
My reputation is built on my bravery and loyalty.
Initiate retreat. Enemy double kill. Dominating. Shut down.
I go wherever the wind takes me.
Gather up the Lord. Our turret is under attack. Launch attack.
You can predict the enemy's moves, you won't be defeated. A good army should be flexible, like water. Our victory will be decisive! Only by facing the enemy can one know his true self.
Enemy has been slain. Ally has been slain. Enemy godlike. Our turret is under attack.
Stay loyal.
Slain Lord.
A true warrior never backs down from a fight.
Initiate retreat.
Superb control.
Ally has been slain.
Attack enemy lord.
Ult is not ready. Our turret is under attack. Our turret has been destroyed. Our turret has been destroyed. Initiate retreat. been destroyed. Our turret is under attack. Brilliant control. Has been slain. Ally has been slain. Our base is under attack. Enemy has been slain.
Defeat.
Look, both Evil and as well as Aurora Takia, they both...
A bit more adjustment that we're starting to feel, but I also probably can't blame them that much because it's like their first match was against Alter Ego, and Alter Ego, as we all know, has been really smooth in their run so far.
And to be fair, that was a really good match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And then afterwards, they were able to bounce back and looked all the more impressive. They looked significantly stronger against their opponents. Them, I believe it
CG.
was CG. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's very understandable. But I think the real question here is what exactly is Pagu bringing? Because we don't get to hear the in-game comps compared to Apex 47.
Yeah, so maybe we can actually watch this so we can get a little bit more information. Again, Apex 47 no longer playing, and it's Pagu who's going to be there. So that's just going to be in a bit.
Hey man, Apex 47, even though he may not be here with us today, well, I mean, technically he's on the back, but not as a starting roster.
He's in the back, guys.
He's in the back. He's still participating.
He's there.
But a different role. However, his little brother is really interesting. Sigaboom, in the gold lane, has been, quote-unquote, a standout within the Turkey online scene and even competitive.
They are actually unafraid of playing their own style. The Faramis first phase pick did very well for them.
I think they're unafraid. They have nothing to lose, but everything to prove. Both Ceylan as well as Gear are international veterans. And when they are coming into this, there's high expectations from the Singaporean community that they should be the ones who lead the team, but the level of competition is just too tight.
Yeah, I mean, it's Singapore, so I think you would already expect that there would be a more unique flavor that they bring.
Okay, that's what you're trying to say.
Hey,
With how you said it's Singapore, me and Gideon were just,
I was looking at you.
What are you trying to set up here?
They could see you. They could see you. So I was trying to say that they have this much more unique approach to play the game. I wasn't trying to hint at anything else.
Don't worry, I'll say it for you. I think Singapore is weird because they are so out there with their picks. And I think this gives them, yes, a unique flavor, but against a team like Aurora, I feel it's going to be a brick wall, just slapping their heads against iron.
One thing you could say about the Aurora teams, Turkey and Gaming PH, Aurora Gaming and Aurora Gaming PH, the two Aurora teams, okay, is what I'm trying to say, is that they have that great hold of what the template is, of what you have to do from not even just like the first 2-3 minutes, the first 5 to 8 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
They have it all locked down. Positioning, the strength of your lineup, they know and do that very well. That's always been their strengths. So if you want to go kind of weird and cheesy here, similar to Gideon, I feel the same way. They're going to have to find that balance of, okay, how cheesy are we getting here? And does it make sense in the bigger picture of how does it look in the full 5v5?
I think they should take the approach that Alter Ego actually did. Even though it feels like a little weird to be like, oh, you know, I'm going to show this as my opener, and then as soon as game 2 starts and we're on the same side, we switch it up again.
Yeah, because I'm thinking if like this approach would really work against such a fundamental team. Because again, you mentioned Aurora Gaming PH or Aurora Turkey. They also have been through both MTV and Dexstar, Master the Basics and Dexstar, so they've handled them. And I think there are so much similarities between the two, but if there's anything you could say to describe it, it's that they're really textbook. So maybe there are some arguments out there saying that once they lose hold of whatever they're used to doing or the template, if they get a bit lost with the template that they're so used to doing, then that's where everything falls. But does these cheese strats or surprise picks, would they really be enough to shake them off that template that they're so used to doing? Cause
I mean, let's look at Yangon Galacticos, right? The fact that they got away with Hellcurt was already pretty crazy. Alter Ego, very good example, as well as having a really wild draft. But if you got a certain level of macro and a high level of execution, you can do a lot of things. I feel like the meta has shifted away from like, we got to play these specific 5 heroes to now, hey, let's open it up through execution.
Well, it's time to hear from the members of Aurora so that I think we can get a little bit more understanding with their changes for Rome.
Hi, Sayla.
Hi, Rose.
Now, I heard that you are actually doing culinary. Maybe you could give us a quick insight on your culinary journey so far.
So actually, in school I was studying culinary for 3 years in like fine dining, all this.
Whoa.
But what actually like inspired me to be a chef is like my family is all in F&B business. So I'm just like learning to expand my culinary skill lah. So like in the future, maybe I'll open a restaurant or something.
Okay, at the top of your head, what's the favorite thing that you like to cook?
Pasta.
Pasta, what type of pasta?
All kinds, aglio olio, the tomato one, carbonara, all this, yeah.
And since you like to cook, do you think you could possibly cook this match up against Aurora Turkey?
Yeah, hopefully.
Do you expect it to be good?
Yeah.
As a chef yourself, you think it's gonna turn out amazing?
Yeah, amazing dish.
An amazing dish, huh?
Yeah.
You know what, thank you so much, Sayla, and I wish you the best in your culinary journey.
Thank you.
You know, I like it when I order something from a restaurant and then they give me something different. I thought we were getting Aurora, but we got a slice of evil from, should we call him Chef Sayla now?
Chef Sayla.
I don't know. I don't want to give him moniker, and then it goes badly. But then again,
but he's a literal chef.
He is a literal chef, and I got to know what he's cooking because he's not only just again very diverse in the skills that he knows, not only in MLBB but outside in the kitchen. But at the same time, he is the leader of this squad. He is the ones making the call and kind of controlling the macro and the flow of the game.
So now let's talk a little bit more about Evil. Yes, Sayla can be highlighted looking at the cheese picks that he has up against Rosa. But let's look at Powerful from the rookie in SG Season 3, Rookie of the Season, to now, after so many seasons in Singapore, finally on the world stage.
Was it 7 seasons that he's been through so far just to make it here? And I'm loving how I think he also has this balance of maybe a bit of the unique picks, and then he still has like what you want or how balanced it is if you want to expect for a bit more meta, because he was the one to use the Tigreal in their first match, and it's not like it was that bad. It was just a bit lacking, I guess.
Meanwhile, for Aurora Gaming, well, Pagu needs to be on point here if he wants to stand toe-to-toe against Powerful.
Yeah, I think that right now there's so many questions with this squadron because the way that Aurora is winning games hasn't gotten to that level and impact that we saw when we first set eyes on this beautiful team. So many veterans on their side, so much history behind them, and now again facing off against another region who has been kind of shunned out of Southeast Asia because of the booming economy everywhere else, but Singapore still feels a little more stagnant than the rest of the world.
As we head into the draft, you have to check what Rosa is gonna draft here or what might not end up on the hands of Rosa. Eva might just lean heavily towards messing up Rosa and Aurora's gameplay through banning out all of their picks. But then if you try to focus on Rosa way too much, I feel like there's always just gonna be one or two that's gonna find its way through. So let's look at Powerful again. Since winning Best Rookie in MPLC SG Season 3, it is just confirming what we mentioned. He's been with Evil for 7 seasons, and he's been the backbone of the lineup as it evolved into the form it is today, a World Championship contender.
It's if we were to look at Rosa though for Aurora Turkey, when it comes to Evil, I feel like that's where it gets a bit tricky because like. More than having standout quote-unquote players, it's like the highlights or the standout plays can come from anyone. It's like they have really unexpected timings and you can't really tell where the focal point of the draft or the gameplay is going to be, because I recall even during their finals in MPLSG, I think across all their 4 games where they won, they had different players as game MVPs, and so that just goes to show how the trend for Evil SG is that there's no really highlight player, quote unquote, or per se. So that might be one of the tricky parts going up against Evil SG.
Well, I think one of the biggest strengths and the biggest weaknesses of Evil specifically, and this has been very notorious amongst Singaporean teams throughout history. They always come in. Well, I say throughout history, but the only exception being NIP Flash. But then there's another reason why they're an outlier. But Evil specifically in Singapore likes to have very rigid lines of play. We are drafting in this specific way to create one specific interaction that will win us the game if we all execute perfectly. However, you're asking and demanding so much from your players every single time. That's a very high standard to hit from the side of Singapore, in comparison to Aurora, where there is a little bit more flexibility to have a margin of error as we check out Broken Walls for the map reveal.
It's the most played map so far in the M7 Swiss stage. I believe this puts it at the 9th, or are we past 10th in the times we played Broken Walls? It's the most played, pretty much.
Wow.
So right away, focus on the Rosa's picks. Take away the Juicin, the Selena, and respect, of course, the Fanny. I think these are just pretty standard bans if you're going up against Aurora Turkey specifically.
Yeah, so that leaves a lot of the jungle picks actually open, similar to the... Never mind the jungle picks, let's go.
Yep, instantly. They know that Sora is up, so that Valentina has to be locked in sooner rather than later. She's going to have a lot of different ultimates to work with. The question is, like we saw before, every time the Sora Valentina question comes up, do you overload her, or is she just going to commit every single time to picking up Sora's ult?
I'm just surprised that the carry was already picked up here more than
the Claude.
That was open. I guess it's also probably to counter out the Grok that was shown first pick by Aurora. Don't know if it's just a bit too reactive because there are so many other power picks out there.
Well, I think mainly because Grok with the Tectonic Charge can cancel out, and the Mighty Swing can cancel out the Blazing Druid duet. So I think it's kind of understandable to a degree. So Claude, Farsa, no surprises here. It feels like Aurora are getting whatever they want.
There's something that Evil can surprise us with here, and if ever they're going to be putting this Valentina in the mid lane, let's say the Sora doesn't show up and you don't need to put in the EXP lane, I'd want to see it take the similar approach of a Valentina EXP that we saw earlier in Swiss, where instead of building magic, it built defense full tank. So what if they can find a way to make up the Joy earlier, as we saw, put that in the jungle, your Valentina acts as sort of like another Grok on your side, because you'll have damage coming through the Sora that just comes in, so you don't really need the Valentina to dish out damage. You want it for its utility. So you get the utility of the Grok and damage through, if ever, a Joy in the jungle.
Joy in the jungle. Could go Yi Shinshin if they want to really scale. Are any assassins viable right now? Maybe Hayabusa. There's an argument for Lance, but Grok makes it really difficult no matter what. Like, that's a guarantee.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bit tricky for him to pull that off. If ever Aurora doesn't ban it out, probably Hayabusa will really be the best option. There's just too much dive going on for, or at least range that you could expect from Aurora, at least now. So maybe they'd want to match that with an assassin. They ban out the Kalea first for Evil. That still leaves Powerful with a lot of other options if ever they wanted to.
I think of the roamers that he can match. Joe is there in terms of matching the rotational speed and aggression. Hill has been sort of dipped out. I think Gata is Gata not that?
He hasn't been touched. Yeah, he hasn't been touched the entire way. I think that Aurora more likely is going to ban it out, but then they have to worry about Cho too. So again, it's kind of pick your poison.
The high loss is there too. If we're just talking about at least anticipating whatever Tianzi might pick up as well.
High loss got banned.
Oh, yeah. It's gone.
There's so many options that have been eliminated out. And I think that personally for me, the fact that Evil was like, again, both Evil and Aurora were very targeted towards each other in terms of their target bans rather than just say, generally, these are good in the meta.
Yeah. I was surprised that they were even considering that Evil would go with the Hilda. I mean, considering there's a Claude in the Farsa, but I feel like...
I mean, Freya's up in those bans, so anything's possible.
That's true. That's the realm we find ourselves in now.
Yeah. I hate how scary it is just randomly. Oh yeah, I pick Claude. I pick Freya.
Yeah.
Maybe not now though, because there's a carry though.
Yeah.
I think we should say a little thank you to the Chinese server. They're the ones who started playing Freya, started introducing it to the rest of the world. That made us think about it.
That's facts.
And then now when they revamp Freya, it's like, all right, here goes Freya. Agata Gacha, as expected, comes in here for Evil.
No surprises there. No surprises there. I want to see what Aurora actually want to bring for the EXP lane because it feels like as of right now, Arlet doesn't sound like a bad idea, but it needs to be paired up with a little bit more CC. I'm thinking Fredrin if it gets to it, but then you're gonna clump up, and that's gonna be a free engage for Sora, so they go Lance.
Yeah, the Phobius is there too. If they just wanted to match the aggression, although, what other options are there? Honestly,
how do you feel about the glue?
Glue, though. You know what? Maybe not. I am off of the glue only because it's really difficult to get the carry in the first place. And I think that Uranus makes a little bit more sense because then you can go in and out a lot more consistently without having to depend so heavily on your cooldowns.
You know, I said Joy earlier, I still think it looks perfect for Evil to pick it up.
Kinda.
There is nothing stopping you other than the Grok and a really well-timed stun from the Curse of the Crow from Farsa.
Evil gonna go that route. I mean, with the Valentina in their hands, I don't think it sounds as much of a bad idea. So they have a bit more magic damage to expect.
It's really, really tough to say because there's so many arguments that can be made here. It looks like they can go for the Joy at the very end of it. So in terms of magic damage profile, they got true damage with a heavy focus on magic. So that's something that Aurora needs to keep in mind coming into this game for item build progressions.
Yeah, item building I feel like is going to be something very important for these.
Oh yeah.
Their routes, how this Valentina is going to be played. It was already shown to us before that you can play full tank EXP against a Sora. What more now with a Sora, and there's a great ultimate that you can steal the scales well through your max HP in the Grok ability kit. So interesting choices for Evil as they go up against Aurora, but I think because of it being a little bit more standard than what we're used to, I'm leaning a little bit more towards Aurora here.
Yeah, I have nothing against those who draft uniquely, and I've said it earlier, but I feel like it's a much more comfortable draft that we're seeing right now from Aurora to pull off.
Man, Brigidia, you are a lot more forgiving than I am because I am critical of these weird drafts. And I want to see whether or not it's going to work because we're testing some limits here to show what the meta is all about. And I think right now, Aurora's draft is looking pretty decent. Right now, it's that tech charge, like Renmar mentioned. It's such an important spell, and if it can get at least more than 2 members, it's more than worth it.
Ooh. So they got to delay the minion waves again, but Evil, that will not stop them from actually clearing the waves first. They dive, or they actually... What?
Yep, they're trying to just open up the map, right? Getting some early trades, forcing Sayla to flicker because he knows he doesn't have his dash and he sees TNZ coming by. This is exactly what they want to do. Aurora planned for the Little Wanderer.
Yeah.
Look at all that control and Prio, Pagu, and Rosa are getting. Powerful and Sailor are getting bullied in the center of the map right now. Oh.
What?
That's dangerous.
What?
Yeah.
What?
As much as they wanted to try, you know, but why?
Oh no.
No, don't tell me. I mean, Rosa is already out of there. Revitalize is already through. What is happening? What? Stop it!
pretty shaky duels. And Ziggy Boom now even he wants a part of it.
No one's recalling it. No one's recalling.
No, you can't. The wave is already here.
Yeah.
Nobody wants
Oh
to
my
back
God.
down. And now Sayla, does he lose any EXP? 0 EXP
Yeah.
lost.
Okay.
Good composure that he was able to stick around and not lose any of the minion waves. that was wild, bro.
That was really wild. Why did Powerful wanna try and go for the taunt in that particular way, right?
Some HP back.
Like, I don't know. I feel like he could have just like walked up, and if he happens to be like point blank range, then you do it, you know?
It was okay. Now we're talking.
They're putting Powerful in his place. They're like, no, you don't get to walk up to us just like that. Lunar still hasn't hit level 4 as the very first turtle has already spawned, and Aurora, first team to get on top of it.
Did Powerful ever recall yet?
Nope. Still walking around.
Never left.
Oh, it didn't reset. Oh, interesting angle. Aether still holding on strong.
Whoa.
Looking really good. Now in the lightning form immediately. Trying to get back out of the electrifying beats is gone.
Whoa.
As Rosa's looking for an opportunity. Gear able to find one. Mighty swing into the auto. Lunar with the Ionic Edge able to find Gear. Now Sayla can't seem to run away from this tough position he is currently in. Too high are the cooldowns and Lunar gets a double.
Might have been worth it earlier with that turtle steal and kill onto TNZ, but I think Aurora Gaming have actually balanced it out somehow. Wait, Siggy.
Whoa! Yo, I get the idea from Sigurboom, but I think he miscalculated how long that ult actually lasts for carry.
It's always fun to see a carry and a Cloud duel it out real quick, although I am still on the fence about seeing them all the damn time. By the way, Realme 15 Pro 5G, our official gaming phone, you saw it there on the hand cam. As Evil and Aurora still trying to jockey for a better position to get a lead. Maybe thinking that Pagu here might be the thing for Evil, but Pagu will just easily walk away.
Unironically, despite the weird movements we've seen on the map, it goes for both of these teams, right? They're trying to play a very standard game. They're looking for those weak points before they can snap the joints.
Yeah, and it's not like we've seen any major plays just yet. It's as if there are attempts, but both teams are just quick to disengage whenever they feel like it's not going to be favorable enough for them. But down bottom, Ven senses that there might be rotation.
Yeah, they know something is wrong here. Mid lane is missing. They only see Pagu so far without anything like a Feathered Airsoft or any signal to give against them. Tech charge. Pagu sets it up perfectly. What a instantaneous play.
They made that look easy.
Yeah, and that was such a quick decision from Aurora Gaming, because the moment that they felt that Ven was a lost cause or that they couldn't really go after him, they got even better targets in the mid lane.
Yeah, Sayla cannot disrespect Grok like this. This is why Grok has been highly banned throughout the tournament. There's just so many things that Grok can do to mess with you. He doesn't always have to go for that mighty swing. He can just use a traditional attack. He can just use an empowered auto. So many ways to guarantee maximum crowd control.
Corrosion's Life now built up here for Ven. Siggy Boom, if I'm not mistaken, also just did run the DHS. Second turtle of the game. The broken walls allowing Aether to get a more comfortable position against these members of Aurora, specifically that Grok. TNT's nearby, they could go for the full commit in just a bit.
Oh, Roko's been watching out for
Oh! Flicker in from the tech charge onto Pagu instantly with the Blazing Joy coming in from Sigurboom. The Feather Airstrike is good as Ven is out of fight. AOG to cut them off. As you can see, that Gear gets into the fight and secures the turtle. Pagu might be the next to fall as a stolen tech charge finds the counter engage to cancel out Sigurboom's BMI.
Oh,
what a play.
Goodness. As we thought that Aurora already had pretty decent control over the objective. Hold on. Does Lunar actually get to clear this? I think he will.
He should be okay. I don't think they want to